today, if you're an educator and maybe you feel the weight of testing season, you have that end of the year chaos, and you just continue to count down the days to summer, because I know that's what I used to do, then this live is your reminder that joy still belongs to you. Today, I am joined by the incredible Dr. Ann. She's a powerhouse in education and educator wellness. She's been doing this for 51 years, y'all. And we're about to have just a real conversation about how you can close out this school year with peace, purpose, and yes, even joy. And guess what? She has a free workshop coming up on Saturday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. Central Time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And you'll definitely want to be in the room for that. But today, we're going to talk about and unpack why it's necessary for educators to reclaim joy right now in this moment, not later, not in June, not after break starts, but right now. So go ahead and grab your wine for this evening, get you some pen and paper, and let's get into it. So first of all, Dr. Ann, you've worked with thousands of educators over the years. Can you welcome us in and tell us what are you seeing right now when it comes to burnout, overwhelm, and the end of year exhaustion?
Well, it is a pleasure for me to be here today. And thank you for inviting me to be with all of your wonderful colleagues. And let me just tell you, over 51 years, I have seen the landscape of education change. And as I am speaking to you right now, it is continuously changing. And with these changes that are happening right now, as I speak, teachers are afraid. Number one, they're afraid that whether or not they're going to have a job, that brings on stress. Whether or not their school is going to close down, that is a new stressor for some schools and for some teachers. Why? Because they may have been there for a while. But what I'm also seeing that teachers may not even realize they are stressed out because they have been in that mode for so long, and they just go and do, and they not- and you I see them walking slowly, even more slowly as the days go by, trying to get through the day. We're trying to get through the day because, we're getting paid to get through the day and hopefully get through the year. But I think it was easier 50 years ago. And when I was starting 50 years ago, I thought I was having a hard time. But guess what? It's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake now based upon what I know today. And if I didn't have that foundation of joy, letting my joy just live within inside of me, I don't know if I could even still be here today if I didn't have my foundation that I had built over the years. Because it is, in hustle and flow, it's hard out there. That song is hard out there well, anyway, the hustle is hard out there to be a teacher these days.
Yes. Yes, it is. And I see we have Monica with us live. Hey, Monica. Anyone else who's joining us live, give us a hey, what's up, what's going on in the chat. And if you have any questions for Dr. Ann, please feel free to share them. Dr. Ann, let's talk about this idea of reclaiming joy. What does that really mean for a teacher who feels like they've got nothing left in their tank?
Oh my gosh. For some teachers feel that they have been beaten down. And when I say beaten down, it is not just by the system And when I say the system, that's the educational system, whether it is their school district, whether it is the Department of Ed, State Department of Ed, or the federal government of ed. But it is that the loss of respect for the teacher. And when you feel that you are not being respected, you kind of lose your joy. But to reclaim your joy, what is it that brought you into teaching in the first place? Why are you there? Why are you still there? Are all of the kids have clubs and bats and they're beating you down? No, not all of them. And maybe that one child that brings the club and beats you down, maybe they're looking for something from you. Maybe they are looking for a little bit of that last ounce of joy that you have to sprinkle on that student so that they can flourish too. Maybe they haven't had the opportunity to experience real joy because of what they see on in social media, what they see on television in the movies. Some most times it's a negative impression and they grow up with that. Maybe that's what they're growing up in their household. And maybe they're living on low batteries like I am right now in their household. And they need to change out the batteries. And that teacher is there to help change out those low batteries and put in some fresh batteries so that they can continue. And not only for the student, but for them, they're running on low batteries as well. And so when we are running on low batteries, our joy is down. We have to reclaim that joy. We have to find out, like I said earlier, what brought us into the teaching field in the first place. For me, back in 1974, it wasn't about the money. I think I was making $400 every 2 weeks or something. And if you look at that today, it's like, huh, how can you survive? Wasn't about the money because I knew before I went to college, I wanted to be a teacher because I thought I wanted to help and bring something to students. So I have to go back to 50 some years ago, 50 plus years, almost 60 years, when I had that thought of being a teacher. 60 years, that's going into almost into high school. I was in Educators of the Future, Teachers of the Future, Future Teachers of America Club. I knew I wanted to be there. That was my goal. And it seems like, or my calling, I can say. And no matter how many times I tried to pull out of teaching, it draws me back. Joy, to reclaim that which you brought you to teaching in the first place. Now, some teachers may not have had that magnetic pull into teaching, and they just landed there by accident, or we said there's no accidents, but maybe they didn't have that path and they just found themselves temporarily there, finances or whatever. But if you have had that pull, that magnetic pull, that calling, then why are you here? Is this your ministry? Are you there to help someone along the way? It brings me back to that old hymn. If I could help somebody along the way, then my living is not in vain. And I don't think my living has been in vain over 51 years of the countless students and the friendships and oh my gosh, the the friendships and that I have made with teachers, the mentoring that I have helped with teachers. With one teacher there, she's only been at my school 3 years. I'm her school mom. So when they look at you from not just a teacher, but from a mom that they can possibly learn something from. And she does by observation. And she tells me, well, I see you do this. I see this. And it brings a smile to her face. Then my living is not in vain.
All right. So with tell us some of the just give us a small practical thing that a teacher who is at that point of exhaustion can do this week to maybe shift their energy or to protect their peace, because of course not everyone's going to stay in education for 50 years. Some people are not even going to stay for 20 years. They come, they conquer, they go on. But then there are some who are working to get to that 30-year mark. They have 2 or 3 years left. Maybe they have 5 years to go to get to their full pension. What is a just really quick, practical tip or a thing that the teachers can do this week to shift their energy and to protect their peace?
Okay. One small thing is this, and they probably heard it, but they're going to say, well, how can I do it? Is not to take everything so seriously. And you're going to say, that's a hard one, but it's small. And when I say it's small, not to take everything so seriously, some things you're just going to don't have to lend your energy to. Okay. So the boy at the desk, he's tapping his pencil. It's gonna get on my nerves at some time, but is it enough to lose your joy over? You can talk to him and you may say it in a nice way. Say, could you please stop the tapping? Or you can go over there and smack him up. No, excuse me, not the smack him up across. I forgot that I'm a teacher. And so don't smack a kid across the, if you want to be put out of school real quick and in a hurry, smack that kid across the head. Okay? Just go ahead and do it. And then you will have an excuse to leave school. They gonna find an excuse because that is a detriment to the child's health in your classroom. So just go ahead and smack them. But and there it is. The other thing, humor. Humor. Find some humor in it. Okay. So I just said, don't take anything too seriously, but there are things that you have to take seriously. Be discerning about those things. Also, bring humor into that, into your classroom. Bring humor. If that means finding some book that has jokes, you know, I don't know where these kids think they the founder of knock knock jokes all of a sudden. And they, got the knock knock jokes and it's like, okay, I don't know. And then when they come up with one answer, then it leads to another knock knock joke. Okay, so if they got the knock knock jokes, start your class out with a knock knock. Start with something humorous. Let the kids see another side of you. Okay, you're not
Okay.
you're not always the Miss Stern person, though I am the sternest teacher on my row over there. And they they try to follow me on Instagram, but then when they do, they say my life is boring. Oh, to them, because I'm not doing all that TikToking and everything. And maybe that's the other thing you might want to do, is to show that you do have a life outside of school. But don't, I'm telling you, don't go out there and be, um, as my mother would say, fast and wild. Okay. In your TikTok, you do have a position, you have a profession, and you have to, you know, say, some kind of demeanor about yourself, but maybe start a TikTok where it is about cooking, because some of that stuff that they have out there on the TikToks with the food and everything is hilarious. And I was on TikTok the other day. One of my kids said, because I asked them, I said, would you eat this food? They were making spaghetti in the face bowl. I mean, in the sink. And I said, would you eat this? And they said, they started using explicit. No, I said, watch your mouth. And then one kid said, oh, I can't, never mind, I forgot where I was. They asked about, anyway, and I said, yep. They said, oh, no, wouldn't eat that. So, when you show them another side, they become open. So, right here, do not take everything seriously. Put a little humor in the game. And with humor, you might want to do that little TikTok, show them the other side of you a little bit. And when you show the other side, you're being connected back to your fun side, your joyful, your playful side. And take time to do something that you really like to do this week. If that means looking at movies, I don't go to movies. Why? Because I go to sleep in the movies. So I just rather get the movies on at home, go to sleep at home, and then turn it on some other time. Or I go to concerts. Last Saturday, I went to one of the best concerts I've had in a little while. I went to see the OJs. And guess what? That was wonderful. With the OJs, they brought you back to when they first started. And of course, I am of that age of when they first started, that it just brought back memories. And it kind of left my eyes watery because I see how they are now and how they used to be. So, those are some things I would say to reclaim your joy in your life.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And those are some great tips. I hope folks are writing it down. So now, Dr. Ann, tell us more about the free workshop that you're going to have on May 3rd. Who is it for? What can they expect? And why is this the perfect time for this?
On May 3rd, my workshop is called Ease Out, Not Burn Out, a joyful end to the school year. Because usually this time, after spring break, after testing, those kids are wild. They think school is out. I have to tell those kids, look, school is not over. I don't know who told you that school was over, but school is not over. And because of the kids' behavior, and you may be constantly trying to pull the ropes in, trying to find, they don't stop learning, they don't stop doing their work because they don't had their tests. And they don't have their tests because that's the state test. And they know everything now. So we as educators are now counting the days. So my workshop is for educators who are counting those days to the last day of school. So I anticipate in this is just like a toolkit. So to help these teachers to get through these last few days of the school year. For me, it's almost a month. Our last day of school is May 24th or May 23rd. So we have like 5 weeks to do. And what are we going to do? Are we just going to give busy work to the kids and just because the kids have decided to stop learning, does that mean that we stop teaching? Yes. I mean, no. Um, but because if we, the teacher, check out because we're tired as well, then definitely there's going to be chaos in the classroom. Check out to chaos. So we are going to go over some wonderful techniques for physical wellness, for physical wellness. Sorry about that. And just things like yoga, cherry yoga, maybe some meditations that we can say, some affirmations that we could do during the day, and some other things. Journaling is a big thing. And just maybe have a discussion within 10, 15 minutes of my hour. Just check in with the teachers who come in there. How are you feeling um, this point in time? What
Okay.
can we do? Because if all of them are coming in there, all of them got the same problem, or maybe some of them may have a solution to what the problem is that they can help or contribute to the situation.
All right. So if you look in the in the chat in the comment section, you will see the link to get signed up for Dr. Ann's upcoming workshop. Again, she said this is for folks who are wanting to end their school year with peace and calm and joy. And for the person who has never experienced leaving the school with peace and calm and joy, because you know how we talk about it, but some people always leave burned out, overworked, just ready to go, can't wait to the end, kids are all over the place, and so they don't know what it's like to end the year in a joyful way without the chaos. What would you say to that person who doesn't know what that's like?
I'm going to say for them to come to my workshop. And I'm also going to, what came to my mind also is we talk about mental health days, and you save up all your time. This might be the perfect time to take a day off before the end of the school. Now, my colleagues, I teach in the seventh and eighth grade um, on the team, and I'm already asking them, when you taking your day off? What day are you taking off between now and the end of the school? And so that makes them stop and think about, oh, yeah, I'm going to take this day off this week. Why? Because they need to get away from the kids. We can also say we can do all these other things, but maybe it's time for them to take that mental health day, or let's rephrase that, take a joy day. Take a joy day and do something joyous or fun. Or if it's just a peace day where you can just lay in your bed a little longer instead of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like some people I know, like me. And so relax, a relaxation day, so that it will build your energy for those last 2 weeks where you have to do your cue cards, where you have to do all of to break down your classroom and pack it up. Some teachers are packing their classrooms, moving not from room to room, but from building to building, because their classroom, their building, their school has been closed down by the district.
Very true.
So take that mental health day, whether you call it a relaxation day, a peace day, a joyful day. I got my day already planned. This coming Friday, I'm taking day off. And so we try not to take the same days, so that, the kids won't be that much in chaos, because it's hard to find subs, as you well know, to come
Mhm.
into seventh and eighth grade. It's kind of difficult out there. And maybe, some teachers want to quit their regular job and do a little subbing. That's another idea for them, but that's another subject at another time. But take that mental health day. It's there for you to use.
All right. Well, Dr. Ann, I want to thank you for sharing your time and talking to the folks about ending the year in peace and calm and joy. Dr. Ann's link to get signed up for her upcoming workshop on May 3rd is in the chat. Please feel free to share that with someone who may be looking, or someone who you just know needs to um, take a moment to think about their personal well being and how to end the year without the chaos. Share the link, let people know, share this live, and get into the workshop. Dr. Ann, thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise with us. And we hope to see some folks in that workshop so they can get some of these skills and strategies from you.
I do hope to see some more people get in my workshop.